we have understood two methods of analysis of truss. One is method of joints and another is method of sections. Are you with me, Vedant?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Today we are going to identify now rules of identifying zero force members and equal force members in truss. Out of that, the first rule we have already discussed yesterday. I will repeat the statement of that rule and then we will go ahead. So what is the statement? Uh, in a free body diagram of a joint pin, if there are only two forces which are which have non-collinear lines of actions, then both the forces must have zero magnitude. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And then I demonstrated this on this truss, which is shown on the right hand side. Now let us go to the next rule of identifying zero force members. Let me read the statement for you, or better you read the statement. Yeah, go ahead, Vedant.
If in a free body diagram of a joint pin there are only three forces, out of which two are collinear, then the third force must be zero.
Yes. So let me consider a free body diagram of joint pin which has two members connected which are collinear. So this is member 1 and this is member 2. So force in member 1, I assume it to be tensile F1. Force in another member is F2. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And let us say there is a third member which is attached to the same joint, and the force in that third member, let me say it as F3. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, mind you, F1 and F2 can be member forces, or it may so happen that this joint has member along F2 and external force F1 is applied along the line of action of that member. It is also possible. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So just draw the free body diagram of a joint pin. And if in joint pin's free body diagram only three forces are seen, out of which two are collinear. तो कौन से collinear है बताओ? F1 and F2 are collinear. Then the force, non-collinear force, must be zero. That's what it is saying. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So F3 has to be zero. And what is the proof for that? So we are going to derive this. Let me call this direction as X. I have intentionally not taken F1 and F2 along horizontal. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So let me call this direction as X. And then this direction, which is perpendicular to X, becomes Y. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now, let the angle made by F3 reference to X is theta. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now, if this joint pin is in equilibrium, can I apply summation Fy equal to 0?
Yes, sir.
So if I apply summation Fy equal to 0, what do I get? F3
Sine theta.
sine theta. There is no other force because other forces are directed along X. Are you with me?
Yes,
This
sir.
must be equal to 0. So there are only two possibilities. One, theta must be equal to 0, which is not possible because then all the three forces will become collinear. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Theta equal to 0 or theta equal to 180 degree makes all the three forces collinear. Then this rule is not applicable. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore theta cannot be 0. So the only option that we are left with is F3 must be equal to 0. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So I have proven the statement that I have given here. But this statement doesn't end here. It says something more. What is that? Can you read something written in the bracket?
And forces in collinear member must be equal, must be of equal magnitude and of same nature.
Yes, that means F1 and F2, they must be equal in magnitude. So magnitude of F1 must be equal to magnitude of F2 as per the statement. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Not only that, their nature must be same. That means if F2 is tensile, that means it is pulling the pin. F1 also should be tensile and it should be pull the pin. It doesn't mean that F1 and F2 are in same direction. No, their nature is same. That means if F2 is tensile, it is pulling the pin, so it is going away. So it is in positive x direction. F1 also should be nature wise same. So it should be tensile. It should pull the pin and it may go in negative x direction. That is immaterial. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So nature must be either tensile or compressive. दोनों का nature same होना चाहिए. This is what is being said. And now we are going to prove it. Proof is very simple because now I am going to apply summation fx equal to 0. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So what does summation fx equal to 0 give me? F1 minus F1
Minus
plus
F1.
F2 and
Yes, sir.
F3 is 0. So therefore it has no component. This must be equal to 0. So I get F1 must be equal to F2. So what is the meaning of this positive sign here? Originally assumed sign of F2 is correct. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So in original figure, I have shown F2 to be tensile. So it is tensile. So if F1 is tensile, F2 also is tensile. And the magnitude of F1 must be equal to magnitude of F2. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So this second rule is a sandwich rule. It also tells you how to identify a zero force member and also tells you how to identify a equal force member. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us look at the last rule, and that is rules for equal force members. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
What does this equal force, what does this rule say? Chalo, can you read this for me?
If in a joint pin, a free body diagram, only four forces are visible, and if they form two pairs of collinear forces, then forces in collinear members must be equal of magnitude and same nature.
Yes. So zara dekho, what does it say? If at a joint pin, free body diagram of a joint pin, if I see only four forces, let us say this is F1. Are you with me? This is
Yes,
F2.
sir.
This is F3. I have intentionally not shown F1 perpendicular to F3. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And F4. So देखो, there are two pairs of collinear forces. F1 and F2 is one pair of collinear forces, and F3 and F4 is the another pair of collinear forces. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So in that case, what is being said? Tell me. The forces in collinear members must be equal in magnitude and same in sense. So F1 must be equal to F2 and F3 must be equal to F4. Not only that, if F1 is tensile, F2 also is tensile. If F3 is compressive, F4 also will be compressive. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, how do we prove this? Proof is very easy. I am going to call a direction along line of action of one of the collinear forces as X. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So perpendicular to this is Y. Happy? This is Y. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So what are these angles? These angles are same. Theta, and this is also theta. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now apply summation Fy equal to 0. What does it give? It gives me
F4
F4
sin theta, cos theta. Sorry, cos theta.
cos theta. You
Yeah.
confuse me. F4
Sorry.
cos theta. Again
Minus F3 sin theta.
minus F3 cos theta.
Cos theta. Cos theta.
This must be equal to 0. Do you
0.
agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So that gives you no choice than F4 being equal to F3. Are you with
Yes.
me?
Yes, sir.
Cos theta is non-zero. Cos theta is 0 only when theta equal to 90 degree. But theta equal to 90 degree means all the four forces, they are not forming two pairs of collinear forces. They are along the same line. All are along the same line. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So theta equal to 90 degree is not possible. So for any other value than 90 degree, cos theta is non-zero. You can cancel it out. And therefore, F4 must be equal to F3. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now orient your x-axis along F3 and F4. You will derive that F1 is equal to F2. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So these are the three basic rules on which we identify zero force members and equal force members. Now we are going to deal with some practice problems. So can you tell me the problem number in last class? Last class का problem number क्या था? जरा बताओ देख के.
Sir, it was 47.
47. So this is 48. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us go ahead. All these are pin joints. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, based on whatever we have learned, ये तीन rule apply करके, we are going to now identify zero force members. Happy?
Yes, sir.
and equal force members. Just give me a second. Yeah. Let me name the joints. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I missed this. So let me call this as 11. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And 12. Joint names कुछ robust method से दिए नहीं है, ऐसे ही दिए 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and up to 12. This is 13 and this is 14. Happy?
Yes, sir.
चलो rule number 1. क्या है rule number 1? If at a joint pin FBD there are only two forces which are non-collinear. So can you locate any such joint where there are only two forces and which are non-collinear in nature?
Yes, yes, sir.
Which ones?
1 and 5.
Yes. So 1 and 5. अब जरा देखो nomenclature करते हैं. Rule number 1 I will show in blue color. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Then if wherever I am applying rule number 2, I will show that thing in red color. Wherever I apply the second part of rule number 2, I will show it in black color. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And wherever I am applying rule number 3, I am going to show it in green color. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just give me a second. Chalo. So rule number 1 is applicable where? It is applicable at joint number 1 and joint number 5. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So I will encircle those joints, joint number 1 and joint number 5. Indicates that rule number 1 is applicable. What does rule number 1 say? If at a joint, if free body diagram of joint pin, there are only two forces and those are non-collinear, then forces in both the forces must be 0. So this is 0 force member, this is 0 force member. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
0 force member and 0 force member. Happy?
Yes, sir.
चलो अब can we apply rule number 2? If in a FBD of a joint pin there are only three members, three forces, out of which two are collinear, ये कहाँ पे apply हो रहा है बताओ? Does it apply at joint number 14?
Joint number 14.
देखो.
Yes, sir.
There are going to be only three forces, force in this member, and this member. So at a joint you are going to have only three forces. Are you with
Yes,
me?
sir. Yes, sir.
Out of which two are collinear.
Yes, sir.
So the force in third member must be 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So even before solving it, either by method of sections or method of joints, I already know force in this member is 0. Happy?
Yes, sir.
At the same time, what does the part B of this rule say? Forces in collinear members must be equal.
Yes, sir.
So force in this member must be equal to force in this member. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So I have applied rule number 2 in its totality. Now let us go ahead. Can you locate any other such joint where rule number 2 is applicable?
13.
Yes. So on similar lines, this 13 joint, 13 is a joint where rule can be applied, and I can see that this is 0 force member. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And force in. Is it from your end?
No, sir.
All others are requested to mute the microphones. Now, force in this member and force in this member must be equal. It is not necessary that these two forces are equal to these two forces. No, that is not necessary. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have applied rule number 2 at this joint. Can you locate anything else where rule number 2 can be applied? What about joint number 10?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So therefore, this force must be 0. Non-collinear force must be 0. What is the rule? At a joint, there are only three forces meeting in FBD. That's true because there are only three members. There is no external force. So only three forces are going to be seen in the free body diagram of joint pin at 10. Out of which two are collinear. So third force must be 0. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And this force must be equal to this force. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Not only in magnitude, but in nature as well. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now, any other joint
11.
which satisfies, yes, we can apply the rule to joint number 11. That gives me force in this member is 0 and force in this member equal to force in this member. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where else can it be applied? Can we apply it at this joint where P is there? Okay, I have not given names to this joint. So what was the last 14? Let us give the name as 15 and 16. Can I apply that rule at joint number 15 and 16?
No.
No, because only 3 members are meeting at this joint. But in free body diagram, this P also will be seen. Do you agree with
Yes,
me?
sir.
So I
Yes, sir.
cannot apply the second rule. Second rule और कहाँ apply हो सकता है? So अब जरा देखो, look at joint number 8. Effectively, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 members meeting. But out of that, these 2 members are already zero force members. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So isn't it as if there are only 3 members meeting at joint number 8?
Yes, sir.
Out of which 2 are collinear.
Yes, sir.
So that gives force in this member must be equal to 0. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And forces in this members must be equal. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we have applied rule number 2 wherever possible. Now where should we go about? Where should we apply rule number 3? Can you locate a joint where there are only 4 forces and they form 2 pairs of collinear forces?
No, sir.
You can. Why not? What about joint number 15? How does the free body diagram of joint number 15 look like? It will be P, then it will be a force in member 2, 1, force in member 15, 2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Then it will be a force in member 15, 3. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And this vertical force. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This is force in member 15, 9. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Are there only 4 forces meeting at this joint in a free body diagram?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Out of that, are they forming 2 pairs of collinear forces?
Yes, sir.
P and F1519 are collinear. F152 and F153 are collinear. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, what does this rule say? The force in this member must be equal to force in this member, and this force must be equal to this force. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the nature of P? Is it compressive towards the pin?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, this member is going to carry a compressive force of magnitude P. Are you with me?
Yes,
This
sir.
is going to be the force in member 15-9. Happy?
Yes, sir.
So without doing anything, merely by applying the third rule, I am able to know the force in one of the members. Isn't it great? कुछ भी
Yes,
नहीं
sir.
किया अभी तक. Joint method of joints, method of section कुछ नहीं किया. सिर्फ observation. Based on the observation and rules, we could find out a force in a particular member. Now what about joint number 16?
Sir, same.
Same. So force in this member must be equal to force in this member, and this must be equal to this. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Is Q compressive in nature?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Therefore, force in this member, that is member number 16, F16, 7, also must be compressive. And what should be its magnitude? Magnitude must be Q. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
यार
I don't understand whether people are not understanding English or is it a mischief being played. Again, Vedant, please unmute yourself.
Bro? Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is done. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So that means just merely looking at a truss and applying these 3 rules, we are in a position to identify zero force members and equal force members. That is going to reduce our burden of solving for free body diagrams of all joints or multiple sections. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, interesting question that I'm going to ask you now is, if a member is carrying zero force, anyway it is useless, so why to waste? Can we remove it from the truss? What is your
Yes.
opinion with that? Now let me take another example. Let us say this is problem number 49. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Let me construct a truss. Let us say this is a roof truss. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Roof truss है ये. चलो, आपने देखे होंगे ऐसे ट्रस इंडस्ट्रियल एरियाज, इंडस्ट्रियल शेड्स पे रहते हैं, पुराने घर देखे होंगे तो उनके ऊपर रहते हैं, रूफ ट्रस. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes, sir.
Now let us say it is supported in this fashion. And it is loaded. Just give me a second. So it is loaded by these forces. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, can you identify zero force members first? Let us try and identify zero force members.
Yes, sir.
So this joint, how many forces are meeting there in FPD? Free body diagram of this joint. 1, 2, and 1 reaction.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with me? So rule number 1 doesn't apply. Any of the rule do not apply. Do you agree
Yes,
with
sir.
me? What about this member? At this joint, there are only 3 forces
Three
meeting,
forces.
out of which 2 are collinear. So force in this member must be 0.
Zero.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Once the force in this member becomes 0, okay, let us do one thing. Let us not have this Q. Once the force in this member becomes 0, what happens at this joint?
So it has
There are
two
only 3
collinear.
forces. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So this force becomes 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes,
The
sir.
moment this force becomes 0, at this joint, you will see that there are only 3 members meeting, out of
Yes.
which one is non-collinear. This becomes 0. The
Yes, sir.
moment this becomes 0, at this joint, you will see that there are only 3 members meeting, out of which 2 are collinear. The third must be 0. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
The moment you see that, the moment this happens, at this joint you will see that there are only 3 members meeting, out of which 2 are collinear, so this force must be equal to 0.
Yes, sir.
This P therefore will be resisted by the components of forces along these inclined members. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
But now at this joint the same thing cannot be applied. Why? Because there are 4 forces meeting and we
Yes,
cannot
sir.
apply any of the rules. Are you with me? कौन सा भी rule
Yes, sir.
apply नहीं कर सकते. But what happens? There is no force at this joint, and so there are only 2 members meeting which are non-collinear. Force in this member must be 0. Force in this member must be 0. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So chalo, let me ask you the question. What happens if you remove these 0 force members? Bolo. Is it possible? Should we remove them? So जरा point number 1 देखो. This P may be due to wind load. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And wind load is not going to always act at a given location. So therefore, this P may move. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So for a given instant of time, P may be here, and therefore this is the situation. But if P comes here, are you with me? Few of
Yes,
the
sir.
zero force members will now become active members. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, looking at the moving nature of loads that we envisage, for example, on a bridge, the vehicle will be moving. On a roof, you may move for cleaning. On a roof, there may be a wind which is moving. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So looking at the moving nature of loads, it may so happen that for a particular position, a member becomes zero force member, but for other positions of load, it may not remain zero force member, and therefore we cannot remove zero force member. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
That is the first observation to be made. Second observation to be made is, note, when we calculate forces in all the members, we are going to neglect self-weight. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, though these members are zero force members, they are zero force member as far as external loads are concerned. There may be forces in these members corresponding to that small self-weight. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So zero force member may have forces due to self-weight. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So if you remove it, who will resist that self-weight? Do you understand my problem?
Yes, sir.
Point. Now let us have a look at another type of a truss. Happy? Let us say this is a truss. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
And it is loaded to this loading. चलो ये जॉइंट पे कितने फोर्सेस दिखेंगे फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम में? टेल मी.
3.
3, out of which 2 are collinear.
Yes, sir.
So force in this member must be 0.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree? So
Yes.
if I now remove this member, this force is 0 as far as self neglecting the self weight is. Self weight को छोड़ के जो एक्सटर्नल फोर्सेस है उसके वजह से इस मेंबर में फोर्सेस 0 है. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
What happens if I remove this member? This member has its own self weight. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So won't this member rotate under the action of its self weight about this joint if I remove this member?
Yes, sir.
So therefore the structure may become unstable if you remove these zero force members. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, keeping in mind all these things, though the force in member is 0, you cannot remove it. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can minimize the number of locations where you are going to have zero force members, so that you you do not spend a lot of material on a trivial member. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let us consider one more example and let us try to apply these 3 rules there. This is the last example in trusses that we are going to consider. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Chalo. This is called as N truss or a Pratt truss. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Chalo. No, not this way. One minute. Let's have it this way. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, this truss is subjected to, let me say, the loading like this. No, let us not add this minutes. Instead, let us add one more panel. Chal. Let us apply rule number 1. Where can I apply rule number 1? Is there a joint where there are only 2 members meeting?
Yes,
Or
sir.
in FPD? Yes. Which one? This one?
Sir. Yes, sir.
So at this joint, you have only 2 members meeting, which are non-collinear. Force in both the members must be 0. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us now apply rule number 2. कहाँ पे apply कर सकते हैं? We can apply rule number 2 at this joint.
Yes, sir.
So what does it say? Forces in these 2 members must be equal and this must be a 0 force.
Yes, sir.
Happy? What else? Where can we apply? Nowhere else.
Nowhere else. Yes, sir.
Are you with me? And now where can we apply rule number 3? What does rule number 3 say?
Four
If at a
forces.
joint there are 4 forces. तो अब जरा देखो इस joint की free body diagram अगर मैं बनाता हूँ तो क्या यहाँ पे 4 forces होंगे?
Yes,
देखो
sir.
2 forces from these members and 2 reactive forces. Let me call this joint as A. In that case, this will be vertical reaction at A and horizontal reaction at A. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, what does the third rule say? If at a joint there are only 4 forces meeting, which form 2 pairs of collinear forces, HA and force in this member, BA and force in this vertical member, these are 2 pairs of collinear forces. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So then this must be equal to this and this must be equal to this. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So here the VA is compressive in nature. So therefore force in this member must be VA compressive. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
HA, if it is towards right, it is compressive for this joint. It is pushing the joint. So therefore force in this member must be equal to HA compressive. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Where else can I apply this rule? देखो यहाँ पे भी मैंने एक तरीके से वो रूल अप्लाई किया है. If at a joint there are 4 members meeting, I can add a pseudo member here which has a 0 force. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So force in this member must be equal to force in this member and this force must be equal to this force. Happy?
Yes, sir.
What about this joint?
No, sir.
Why not?
Sir,
There are
there
3
are
members meeting
yeah
and 1 reaction.
4. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can I apply the same rule? Yes. So let
Yes.
me call this joint as B. In that case, this reaction will be BP. So what does that rule say? The force in this member must be equal to force in this member. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And this force must be equal to this force. Therefore, force in this member is VB compressive. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I apply that rule here?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So force in this member must be P compressive. Happy?
Yes, sir.
And this force must be equal to this force.
Yes,
Can
sir.
I apply the rule here?
Yes, sir.
This is vertical member. So I can apply force in this member must be Q, but now tensile. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Why? Because this Q is pulling the pin. So the
Yes,
force in
sir.
this member also must pull the pin. So it must be tensile in nature and equal to magnitude Q. And this force must be equal to this force. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is how we go on applying these 3 rules. We are going to stop today by asking you the last question about the trusses, and that why do we assume the self weight of the truss should be neglected in the analysis? Will it cause the error? Answer is yes, it is going to cause the error. But जरा उसके लिए आप मुझे ये बताओ कि ये ट्रसेस आपने कहाँ देखे हैं? Where have you seen these trusses? Tell me, Vedant. Where do we use this? बोलो.
Sir, don't know.
नहीं सोचो, ऐसे कैसे होगा? क्या आप कभी प्लेटफॉर्म रेलवे प्लेटफॉर्म पे गए हो?
Yes, sir.
Do you cross from one platform to other platform over a bridge?
Yes, sir.
How does that bridge look from platform? Chalo, so for that I am going to share few pictures with you. 1 minute. Just give me a second. Tell me, have you seen this or not? Such kind of bridges.
Yes, sir.
These are railway bridges. Are you with me? Is it a truss?
Yes, sir.
Definitely. This looks something like a truss. Happy?
Yes, sir.
Now, tell me, have you seen such kind of bridges? 1 minute. I am very sure you have seen such kind of bridges.
Yes, sir.
What do we call them? Foot over bridges?
Yes, sir.
Is it a truss?
Yes, sir.
100% it is a truss. Now, just look at this. Chalo, have you seen this kind of trusses?
Yes, sir.
Stadium, जो हमने कल problem solve किया था. Do you remember that problem? It
Yes,
is a
sir.
stadium roof truss. Are you with me?
Yes,
Ah,
sir.
so have you seen such kind? You must have seen such kind of trusses. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Let me give you one few more examples. Have you seen such kind of industrial shades?
Oh, yes, sir.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This may not be this is a part of industrial shade. Yeah. Have you seen such kind of structures?
Yes, sir.
Of course, it will be covered later by cladding material. Are you with me?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
what is peculiarity of all these examples? चलो peculiarity बताओ क्या है?
Hmm.
What will be the width of this road, by the way? Can you tell me? कितने 4 लेन का रोड है तो कितना रहता है अराउंड? टेल मी. 4 lane road or 6 lane road. What is the width?
Uh,
Are you
no,
aware?
no, sir.
अरे कितना रहेगा जरा सोचो. आप रास्ते पे चलते हो, 1 लेन रास्ता पता है, 2 लेन पता है, तो 6 लेन का कितना रहेगा? सी 6 लेन रोड अगर है तो अराउंड 20 मीटर के आसपास उसका कम से कम विड्थ होना चाहिए. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes, sir.
सो ये डिस्टेंस कितना है? 20 मीटर्स का है. आर यू विथ मी?
Yes, sir.
What will be this distance? This distance also is very huge. It is something 20 to 30 meters. Are you with
Yes,
me?
sir.
This also is a significant distance, 20 meters से ज्यादा ही शायद. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
What about this? This is a huge distance. This can be 30 meter, 40 meter as well. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, in all these examples, do you see a column in between?
Yes, sir.
कहाँ है column? बताओ.
Uh,
Columns are only at ends. Do you
yes,
agree?
sir.
There is no column here
No, sir.
in between. तो अब जरा ध्यान दो, हमारे रूम का डायमेंशन क्या रहता है? अगर रूम डायमेंशन इज समवेयर लेट अस से 4 मीटर बाय 5 मीटर, उसके लिए हम जो बीम देते हैं वो रेनफोर्स कंक्रीट बीम्स रहते हैं. आर यू विद मी? नाउ
Yes,
इफ
sir.
यू हैव टू गिव a beam which has a span of 20 to 30 meter made up in reinforced concrete, won't it be very heavy?
Yes, sir.
इसका डेप्थ बहुत बड़ा रहेगा, मतलब 2-3 मीटर्स का डेप्थ, और विड्थ भी 500 mm का, मतलब 0.5 मीटर का. सो मच ऑफ इट्स सेल्फ वेट. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
सो द स्ट्रक्चर विल वे significantly and it will have to resist the actions due to its own weight. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
ऐसे सारे केसेस में आई डोंट वांट to have a heavy structure. I want to have a light structure. That is the first point. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So what do? I go with a superior material called as steel, and देखो उसमें it is like a hollow thing. सिर्फ members है, slender members. So I have removed the chunks of materials. It becomes very lightweight. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Second thing, look at this example. Let us say this is a factory of a car. Let us say you have to move one part of a car which weighs in tons to another corner. So what do you use? You are going to use the crane. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So that crane is going to move inside this. If there is a column in between, there are chances that the crane will hit the column. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So there is a compelling reason. You want a space without a column in between, huge space without column in between. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, imagine this roof truss has columns like this in between as well. What will happen? Tell me. Will you be able to see the match?
No.
So there is a problem in visibility. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Functionality of that stand will be lost. Therefore, I don't want the columns in between. Similarly, here, I don't want a column to be there. It will affect the movement of vehicles. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
I cannot provide the column in first example because the soil below the river may not be strong enough to take the load from column.
Yes,
There
sir.
are compelling reasons where I need to go for large spans without columns in between, and I need to go for trusses in such cases because they are lighter options. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So when I say they are lighter options, that means they resist significant large amount of load in comparison with their self weight. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So समझो हम ट्रसेस के लिए तभी जाने वाले हैं. We are going to use the option of trusses only when you have a large span or large load to be supported without a column in between.
Yes, sir.
You will
Yes,
never
sir.
see a truss in your house. बीम के concrete beam को हम truss beam से कभी replace नहीं करते. क्यों नहीं करते? Because it is not judicious to use trusses there. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Therefore, the very use of a truss is in a situation where there is a demand to resist a huge load with lightweight. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
So, but naturally, forces induced due to external loads are going to be significantly higher than the forces induced due to its self weight. And on those grounds, we neglect self weight. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So in trusses, you will find out that in a member, if you find out the force induced in a member due to self weight and force induced in the member due to external load, force induced due to external load is 98%. Only 2% is the force induced due to self weight that we are neglecting. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So I have now conclusively told you the reason why we neglect or why the assumption that neglect self weight is judicial in case of trusts. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So with all this discussion, we are going to close the chapter on trusses. It did include uh, method of joints, method of sections, and finding out zero force and equal force members. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So let us stop here today. Use the same link as yesterday's link. I have kept it active for filling the attendance of today's class. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you don't have a doubt, you can leave the class.
Thank you, sir.
I am hearing that there are some troublemakers in the class playing music or removing the participants. Don't do any such kind of thing in mechanics class. With this, let us close today's lecture.